Hello, English 4 students, and welcome. We finally have made it to Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None, considered one of the greatest murder mysteries ever penned. As long as you don't spoil it for yourself, this is actually an excellent read. I've never had a group of students hate reading this book. They always are interested in trying to figure it out, even after like some people spoil it, because here's a spoiler alert. The internet likes to lie sometimes, and people have gone on and done fake post about who the real killer is for this particular novel. So just a synopsis of what this novel is about on the outline of it. Some in first hour even pointed out like, hey, that's similar to this. Hey, that's similar to that. This is the original. This is where the idea originally was formed. So 10 people get invited to an island. They don't know each other. And then one by one, they mysteriously start dying. That is all you need to know heading into it, and they don't know who the killer is. And it's written in a way that's very hard to figure out who the killer is until you get to the very, very end of the novel. So that is the book we're going to be reading. The plan going forward for up until spring break. So it should take us until spring break to read this. So about 2 months for us to read this, because we're going to take a little bit of a slower wilt to it. We're not going to necessarily try to rush through it. The plan is to read a chapter one day. You'll do annotations over that chapter that day. And the next day you'll have a writing prompt that you'll do. And I believe it's either 100, it's not 100, it's 200 to 300 words, I think is the prompt. I can't remember how long I made it. We'll find out tomorrow once I had to teach y'all about that. But that's the plan. One day you'll read, take annotations. The next day you'll do a writing prompt over it. So that's the plan. You'll be doing 10 annotations for today in chapter 1. And I'm going to just do a quick walkthrough of chapter 1 with you. I'm not going to necessarily read it, but I'll kind of give you an idea of some things to look at. So the first character we are introduced to is Justice Wargrave, and this kind of gives us the reasoning behind why he is going to the island. Then the next person we meet is Vera Claythorne. She kind of explains why she is going to the island. By the way, everybody's going to the island for different reasons. Now, for the prompt tomorrow, I'll explain the prompt tomorrow a little bit more in depth once we get there. But pages 4 and 5 here with Vera's part kind of could be something you could use for that prompt tomorrow. Next person we meet is Philip Lombard. His is a big tonal shift in kind of what we've seen so far. His reason for going to the island is dramatically different compared to Vera and Justice Wargrave's. All right. And then we meet Miss Emily Brent. She's the next person that we are introduced to. Then we meet General MacArthur. Then we meet Dr. Armstrong. And Dr. Armstrong, his big thing, once again, all these people are just telling you why they're going to the island. I would make sure to note end of 12, beginning of 13. So from here to here, specifically in here, there's some information that is kind of dropped that might help you with the prompt that you'll be doing tomorrow. Then we meet Tony Marston and why he's going to the island. And then finally, we meet Mr. Bloor. And the very end, Bloor has an extremely interesting ending 4 pages here, or 3 pages here. There's something very different about him compared to everybody else. And on top of that, he has a very interesting interaction with a person on the train who just says, watch and pray, the day of judgment is at hand. So there we go. That is chapter 1, just kind of some things to look at. We find out why 8 of the 10 people are coming to the island, and we have a couple weird incidences occur. Like I said, pay attention to Vera's ending, pay attention to Philip Lombard's. That's a fairly interesting story he has, the reason why going. The end of Dr. Armstrong's, it gets a little bit interesting. And then, of course, the very end with Mr. William Henry Bloor is interesting. So that's chapter 1. Read chapter 1, do 10 annotations over chapter 1, at least 10. If you get more than 10, more power to you. The more annotations you have, the better. That's more you can work with, the more your thoughts that you had while working with it. Because remember, writing is thinking and thinking is learning. When you're reading, you're interacting with other people's thoughts. So 10 annotations over that. And tomorrow I'll be back to explain to you the writing prompt that you'll be doing associated with this. If you have any questions, email me, pdavidson@portugal.k12.mo.us. Until next time, later.